air and all that.
So we were hanging out with some dudes the first night. Couple of boys from Tijuana. They'd flown over to go hit this one park we were at, and they were staying at the Hard Rock, and we're sitting there chatting with them, and I was like, I've never been on a zip line like this before. And they're like, we hadn't either. I mean, it was wild. Oh, and then the end, you zip line into the water. Like, you don't have a life vest on or anything. You're just it was seriously cool.
Wow.
So we thought about while we were there going and booking the second trip, and it was a blast.
So here's a great question. How much would you save if you joined Medishare?
Well, that's pretty
for your
cool.
healthcare program?
Michael Bailey said, I was told I need to get a new engine in my car by the mechanic changing my oil about a week and a half ago. I took it to the dealership for another opinion, found out it's a recall issue, and they're replacing the engine for free.
Ooh.
She'd heard about the
That's a pretty sweet deal.
savings with Medishare, but was wondering about the network of providers.
Once we started the program, I have not had to switch one doctor for myself or for my kids. So all the doctors that we were previously
Oh, Michael's going to
with
get married
were
there.
all
That's a cool
Medishare.
place.
And she says the process has been fantastic.
I got off the phone and I was like, that's what it should be like. It was a pleasurable experience, an encouraging experience at that.
Medishare might be just the thing you're looking for your family, your budget. Use the savings for other things. Why not get your questions answered? Find out how much you can save. You can call right now. 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE.
That's a phone number you need.
Yeah, 844. Yeah, because I don't get enough phone calls
Right.
already, right?
necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station. It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry and Jason Bible.
Yeah, get on the right
Get the
path.
answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
All right.
Get ready. The guys that will put your fears behind you are on the air now. They're taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Here's Tom and Jason.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome to the show, Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's our call-in number if you want to talk about any kind of real estate investing, buy and hold, buy, fix, and flip, wholesaling. JB is back from vacation.
Back.
You spent some extra time doing the do this morning.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, my hair.
Yeah.
We got home at like 10 last night, and I had to drop Mama Mel off at like 4:30 in the morning at the airport.
That didn't sound like fun.
No, it wasn't at all. So I just got out of bed and literally walked out the house. So
It doesn't look like that at all.
No, it doesn't look like that at all. Well, then we thought, well, let's put her on an Uber. I'm like, yeah, like I can find an Uber at 4:30 in the morning in Sugar Land on a
Right.
Tuesday, right?
Right.
So I just went and dropped her off, and then I came up here. So yeah, it was a good vacation, and I couldn't tell. The debate we were having is, the attendance at the resort was a little low.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's because of the stuff that's going on in Mexico right now.
Could be.
But
Could be time of the year also because it's Memorial Day weekend and
we've been to Mexico a ton of times
Of
during
course.
this time of year, and I think when the State Department came out with their warnings, it has changed some things down there. But we had a great time. It was like I was telling you during the break. It was adult camp. That's really what the buddy of mine Ray described it like that. And it was wild. It really was. I'll tell you what. I love Disney. Disney's great. Disney ain't ever going to build parks like they do in Mexico. They're just not, because Americans will kill themselves
Right.
if they built parks like that in the United States. It was just an absolute blast. So,
this is
it
for
was a
like
good
parks
time.
that people want to take personal responsibility, right? Not
Yeah.
not people that go, oh, I got hurt and you're somebody else's fault.
Yeah,
'Cause,
they're like, we don't care.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What my favorite part is we had somebody in our party that was scared of heights, and these towers that we were ziplining from are so tall they have lights in them for the aircraft. They're 100 meters in the air, and you're riding on some of these zip lines for almost a minute and a half at like 20 miles an hour. And so I'll never forget, we're getting up to one of the tallest towers, and it takes like 30 to 45 minutes to go through. They have two different zip line trails, if you will, and it takes 45 minutes to get through, and the wait's not that long. It's like 7 or 8 towers per deal, and we were doing the nighttime one. Anyway, so one of the girls in our party is not a big fan of heights, and these things were crazy high, and she's sitting there talking to the guy that's belaying her on, and he says something like, or she says like, "Oh, I'm really scared." And he just looks at her and pushes her.
Yeah, like I don't care.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care. He just
Yeah.
hooks her up,
Yeah.
And then just literally pushes her out the front of the tower.
what's
And
there
he's
to
like,
think about,
He's
right?
like, next.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, this only in Mexico.
Yeah,
we have
right.
this.
Yeah.
This is some other theme park. We're like, it's okay.
It's okay. Do you
It's
wanna
gonna
go down?
be great if you really. Now, this was the interesting thing. You can't leave once you start. They
Oh.
told us that. I thought it was just kind of the BS-y thing,
Yeah.
like they didn't want people to go. You can't. You cannot leave once you start. So you get scared, too bad. Get on this thing and go.
Yeah.
I mean, it was anyway.
Yeah.
So we had
Quit being a big baby, right?
Quit being a big baby. You're
Right.
strapped in. You're fine.
Yeah,
so,
right.
in any case, it's pretty cool. And I posted on Facebook. Looks like one of the guys that the real estate guy said he is getting married there. And we went to the chapel
On the zip
and-
line, that'd be cool.
on the zip line, that'd be pretty sweet. But he's getting married at the resort, and I said, dude, if you have not been to that chapel there, it is absolutely amazing. It's the tallest point. They've literally built this mountain, and the chapel's at the very top. It's incredible. We went up there the last night just to check it out. But so I said, yeah, man, get ready. It's pretty cool. So in any case, that's what I did for the weekend. And then I had this thought while we're there. I figured out how much it costs for us to be there per day, and we got a really sweet deal. I'll tell you that right now. I think, well, relative to what the prices are now, the prices have jumped up through the roof. Especially, regardless of Mexico or not, it's an incredibly expensive place to stay. And then I thought, for that number, let's just say it's $500 a day. So
Yeah.
$15,000.
That's for two people, right?
That's for two people.
Yeah.
And everything is catered for. I
Right.
mean, you go to the parks, everything's included at the parks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like everything. I mean, it's food and drink and all that. And we have these special wristbands, and they just roll out the red carpet for you. So I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, this costs 15. If you were to do this, it'd be 15 grand a month for
Yeah, if
what
you
we
just
paid
lived there,
for it.
right.
Yeah, if you just live there.
Right.
So
And drinks are included, food's included.
everything,
Yeah, right.
and it's not like we were drinking Johnny Walker. I mean, it ain't cheap,
Right.
fake, nasty alcohol. This is good stuff.
For
right?
$500 a day, they're still making money.
They are still making money, yeah. And just an impeccable place. And all the
Because
places.
chances
we
are
went
you're
with.
not going through a bottle of Johnny Walker a day.
No.
No, between the two of you.
No,
Right.
and you can't. You're too busy doing other
Right,
stuff,
sure,
right?
right.
So what was amazing to me is how expensive the American lifestyle is, and how expensive some people live. Because I was having this conversation with Sarah. I'm like, we could literally live here, do whatever we wanted for 15 grand a month. And you're looking at this place, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And everything around you is
Right.
Sarah's
Gives you
taking
a new
pictures.
perspective,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
and you come back here, and you're like, what are you doing with your money?
Right.
I mean, it really gets down to what are you doing with your money, especially some high income earners. And so we were chatting in our group, because 9 times out of 10, what I am doing is counseling people on how not to spend money and how
Yeah.
to invest instead.
Yeah.
And so we were having this conversation at dinner and at the bars and stuff, and how many broke people I know that make $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're broke.
Right.
I mean, maybe they got $50,000 in the checking account and they think they're doing good, but I'm like, they are broke. And it was just.
But they have a nice house someplace, right?
Oh, they got a very nice
and
house.
and they drive nice cars.
Sweet cars,
Yeah.
and everybody
and
thinks
they,
they're successful.
And they vacation in nice places.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's probably vacation the same place we are, right?
Right.
So I'm just sitting there and I'm having this thought, and I'm like, how can you make that much money and not? And here we are in paradise for
Right.
15 grand a month.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you back into, okay, well,
How much is enough, right?
Yeah, how much is enough and all that other stuff. So I started doing some more research. I've been on this like 7-month binge right now of all the different retirement books and blogs and podcasts and all that other stuff. And so it's fascinating because there's one common theme. And it doesn't matter what you invest in, whether it's stock market stuff or real estate or, treasuries and capital markets and private placements, all that other stuff. The number one reason people fail to get to retirement is they spend too much money.
Yeah.
It literally, you cannot save enough money. You can't invest enough. You will literally spend every single dollar you've got.
Right.
And I've talked a little bit about it on the show before when we talk about Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is a great case study. The guy is wildly successful and incredibly broke right now.
Yeah, because he probably wouldn't have gone down there and stayed in that place. He would have rented the whole thing to himself, right?
Oh, he would have bought the island.
Yeah,
right?
sure,
I mean,
right.
that's what he
Right,
did, right?
right.
He owns an island in the Bahamas. So he's
Right.
like, well, I'll just go buy the island. I'm like, Johnny, look, dude, you're not.
You can rent the place for a lot cheaper.
Well, here's the problem with Johnny Depp. He's an employee.
Right. Yeah.
When you really get down to it, he's an employee. He's no different than some people look up to CEOs. There's something special and should be worshipped. They're an employee too. When you're a business owner that creates massive amount of cash, if you look in Dr. Stanley's book, The Millionaire Next Door, which I'm rereading the revised version after the real estate crisis in 2009, he calls these people the glittering rich. In other words, they make so much money. It's usually their businesses create so much wealth that they can buy 25 Mercedes and Lambos and Ferraris and all that other nonsense. But he said the reality is, even amongst millionaires, they're less than 2% of total millionaires.
Yeah.
So you're never going to be able to live that lifestyle.
Right.
It's
you
impossible.
see what like Dr. Dre apparently is adding on to his house, but he's doing it all underground. And he's building
cool.
like a basement in his house where's the place that O.J. Simpson used to live? What's that neighborhood called?
I don't know.
Brentwood.
Yeah, there you go.
Brentwood.
Yeah, so Dr. Dre apparently has this house in Brentwood, and it's on and he bought it from Giselle and Tom Brady for like $40 million, back in the day. And you're like, yeah, but he has beats that he sold for like $1 billion.
I was going to say,
right?
he's not a rapper.
No,
he's
right.
a business
Right,
owner,
exactly, right.
I mean, and he's not the product anymore. He's
Correct.
got this
he's cashed out, right?
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, he's got that flash, but that's not the lifestyle that most people can achieve.
with $100 bill.
Yeah.
You can blow $50 mil a year.
Yeah.
And if you're invested in the right stuff, who cares?
Yeah, right.
I mean, so the problem is, and Dr. Stanley talks a lot about this in this book, is people try to spend to look like those folks.
Right.
And so anyways, it's interesting getting into statistics and looking at all numbers of different things. But the reality is, if you read through Stanley's book, if you read through all the stuff I've been reading through the last 6-7 months, if you read Aaron Clary's stuff, if you read Dave Ramsey, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Whoever you read, the conclusion is the same. You spend way too much money and don't invest enough. And so what's fascinating is I've come across the magic ratios. And some of these ratios are dependent upon your returns you get from your investment. Now, I'll tell you right now, real estate, especially here in Houston, Texas, when you include appreciation, is outsized rates of return. I mean, crazy rates of return right now. I was chatting with my mother-in-law when I was dropping her off this morning at the airport, and she was sharing with me their house, like Nashville. If you guys aren't familiar with Nashville, it's exploding right now.
15% rate of return.
Yeah, it's 15% annual appreciation. Her house, and I can't remember when she bought it. 6-7 years, might be longer than that. 7-8 years ago. Sarah can post if she's listening on Facebook. Her house is more than doubled in value in like 7 years.
Yeah.
And so we were having this conversation. She wants to move back here to Houston. I said, you might have to just rent that thing. Because then she started sharing with me the rents. Now, this is fascinating because this is someone
The house
who's
is paid off?
It's not quite paid off
Okay.
yet. But what's fascinating is here's a person who knows nothing about real estate investing, and she has a pretty good idea of what she thinks the value of the house is and what it rents for.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and even with a mortgage, I think she's gonna net about $1,000 a month
Wow.
in cash flow. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd sell that. I
Right.
might sit on it. So what's fascinating is when you look at all these different numbers at the end of the day, and one of my favorite guys that I've been reading lately, you need to have 25 times your annual expenses in order to retire
Okay.
at a 7% rate of return. So if your rate of return is higher than that, like it is in real estate,
Takes
you need
less.
less. But somewhere your number is going to bounce around there. Whether you're in the equities market, whether you're buying rental portfolio of single family, multifamily, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's about a 25x off your annual expenses. And if you're averaging about a 7% rate of return, you'll be more than comfortable in retirement. So
Which means that you're closer than you think to being
you
retired
are way closer
if you have
way
the right
closer.
path and plan.
That's right. If you know what you're doing.
Yeah, so we're going to continue that on the other side of the break. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you want to continue with the conversation, join us.
Mike's off.
All right. Hey, morning, Mr. Daniel. Happy belated birthday from
I
yesterday.
inherited a great investment property.
Oh, it's your birthday?
Yesterday it was, and I failed to post. There were a couple times that I stopped to do it and then got distracted and
That's the other thing. My internet was real in and out. So sometimes it'd be like super quick, and then
Yeah.
other times I couldn't even get a signal.
Yeah.
So
When you're in that cave, I bet it was not super quick.
it was not super quick. We actually ate in a cave restaurant. I mean, this place is crazy. They built an entire river behind the beach. They have these little islands. I mean, it was
Like a lazy river or like a river?
no. It's a river that's fed by the ocean.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's wild. It really is.
Heritage Tree as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of
What
our
I
files,
thought, I went up to
review
their
the best
conference
foundation
center.
analysis in today's
They
market.
have more than enough space for us. If we want to do a real big event,
Yeah, yeah.
medium-sized event, just like executive style, they got all that, and it is very, 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 very nice. So
Are you a realtor
If we
or
ever decide to
seller
fly
that is
out there
concerned
and do an
about the
event,
new
it would.
rules and closing on time?
The only problem
I'm
is it ain't
Jennifer
cheap.
Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer
So
at
you said you've already
Legacy
booked your
Mutual
next
Mortgage.
vacation?
We've
No, we hadn't
met
booked it.
today
We talked
closed.
about it.
Yeah.
We close on time accurately.
Yeah,
and with
I think
tons
we were
of
all in with
communication.
taxes and everything for
You'll
like
have a dedicated
$450 a
team
night.
of a coordinator
Sarah went
and
and
a
looked again.
contract
They're
to close
they're back up to
associate.
1,000 a
Give
night.
me a
Wow.
call today
Yeah,
at
it's that nice.
713-579-3611, and let's talk about
They have
how
a
we can help
timeshare there
you
too,
on
and
your
I
next
almost
transaction.
went to the
NMLS
timeshare presentation just to see
514497.
Yeah.
what that costs
Time
and
is
all
money in a
that.
real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
Taxes. Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset protection for real estate investors throughout the country. Our unique philosophy has CPAs, lawyers, bookkeepers, and estate planners with one common goal, helping you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at andersonadvisors.com, and don't forget to tell us you heard about us at Right Path Real Estate.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at
1
the speed
minute.
of a jet to
Mm,
fund
all
your
right.
investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
This is Business 1110.
All right, gentlemen, hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Joined. Jason just came back from vacation.
I didn't look at any real estate while I was there.
You didn't get with an agent down there or anything like that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Because apparently you're not allowed to own. You probably know about the rules of real estate down there. You're not allowed to own within, I think it's 25 miles of the coastline.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. They've built some custom golf course and condo communities all around there. It looks like they've got some international.
You can't
folks
own it
buying.
directly, so that they do have a provision where you co-own it, with with a bank or something like that.
Is it one of those sovereign deals?
Yeah,
where
right.
yeah. You don't really own it. You kind of
Right.
rent it
Yeah.
for like 99 years.
Right.
Like I think Hawaii's got that, don't they?
I don't.
They have some deal that for those of you guys that live in Hawaii, I have no idea. That's a whole different. I know some guys that invest in real estate in the UK, and I'm like,
Oh,
no, sir.
Wes Cordeaux says, buy the timeshare on the resale market. He bought one from a dead man 15 years ago.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's hard to do. But no, I'm just kidding. Piney Shores Conroe for $2,500 and have traded it 20 plus times all over the USA and Caribbean. TS is like a boat. Yeah, that's right. If you use it, it's great. If not, a big waste of money. Yeah, that's true.
So that's a problem we run into is we just don't sit in one place
Right.
long enough.
Yeah,
So,
if it
but I
boats-
agree with that. The secondary market is awesome for timeshares.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, you buy it and then you trade it. For you got to be in one of those really big groups where you can trade all over the place. So.
When we were in Disney, we were looking at some of the guys we know are part of that Disney timeshare club. And what I thought was interesting is in all of the contracts, Disney has the right to buy back. In other words, so let's say you go out and sell your whatever your Disney thing is, right?
Yeah.
They have right of first refusal,
Oh.
so they keep the values up, right? Because if you sell it too cheap, they're like, you know what, we're going to buy those back.
Yeah, of course.
It's like a soft option for them, right? Because that devalues
Yeah, if you're selling it for
the-
$2,500, and they'd rather buy it for $2,500 and turn around and resell it for $20.
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a pretty cool thing. But anyway, so we're not going to talk about timeshares because that's not really investing.
Not the
unless
kind of
you're-
investing we talk about.
Nah,
Yeah.
not the greatest investment. But it's good for, like Wes said, I mean, you get them cheap enough, man. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, you're right, Wes. It's like a boat, and those maintenance fees will kill you. So interesting. Piney Shores and Conroe. Oh, so I guess they have one up in Conroe. Interesting. So, in any case, so yeah, I'm
I think
back.
Piney Shores is the one they used to call Del Largo.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. So anyhow.
So
All right.
real estate investing in retirement. What's amazing is I think a lot of people are closer than they think they are. I was reading a ton of blogs over at least the last week about debt reduction. I'm fascinated by people who exit their undergrad or graduate degrees with over $100,000 in debt.
You see, there was one guy that he's leaving school with $1 million in debt.
I saw that article. There's like 101 people in the United States that have over $1 million
That's
in
crazy.
student loan debt.
How does that happen?
Well, what was interesting is, so he went to the optometry school at where did he go? Not UCLA. He went to somewhere out there on the East Coast. I cannot remember, or on the West Coast. I can't remember what school it was. But anyway, so he racks up $1 million in debt. What's interesting is at a certain number of years, your debt gets gets written off. 20 years, 30 years, whatever the number is. The problem is that then you have to pay taxes on the delta.
Oh, wow.
So if you read through the article, he's going to end up even paying, I don't know what it is, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. And he was in dentistry.
Yeah.
So the problem is here you've got a guy that is a dentist who's got $1 million in debt. This isn't like, I have no sympathy for the guy or gal who graduates with a worthless degree. I really have no, if it's like underwater basket weaving, women's studies, PhD, and they have $200,000 in debt. I'm sorry, the economy does not need you.
Right.
They don't. So the fact that you got that much in debt, sorry, that's your problem. When we start talking about dentists, doctors,
Yeah.
like people we really need, that's a huge problem.
Yes.
So this guy's working, I thought he was an endodontist. So he's working as an endo. He's making really good money. But the problem is he's $1 million in the hole. And he's already figured out through the loan repayment program, he cannot pay it back.
Right.
But he's going to have to pay off taxes on the written off portion of the debt.
So if he
which is-
pays off $300,000 of it, then and they write off $700,000, then he has to pay taxes on the $700,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So even when they write it off, he's got to pay off the difference. I had to see if I can find the article. It was fascinating. But the problem is that, and where the rubber really meets the road in the article is, we've got a problem. We don't have enough dentists. We don't have doctors. We don't have nurses. We don't have enough people who are. Their school is not inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
Their school is very expensive they're very expensive to educate because of the labs and everything else. And not everybody can be a doctor, nurse, engineer, whatever, but we need those people in society. So what are we ultimately going to do? That's really how the article ended it, because I can tell you, I've got buddies of mine that were going down the track to become a doctor, and they said, screw it, I'm going to be a nurse practitioner instead,
Sure,
right? Less liability, school's less expensive. I make more of the ROI.
I start earning sooner, right?
I start earning sooner.
Yeah.
My ROI is higher when I stop at a lower level.
Sure.
Which is crazy when you think about it. The economy right now, especially in the healthcare arena, is completely upside down. So I thought that was a fascinating article. But in any case, when you go back to what do you do when you graduate with all this debt? How do you get rid of this debt? So I'm reading all these different articles. One of my favorite ones, my favorite blogs, is a guy who had $100,000 in debt from Harvard. I went to Harvard Business School, and then his undergrad was like University of Michigan, something like that. And so, smart guy, but he graduates college. He's making like 80, 90 grand a year, and he's got $100,000 in debt. So he did. I haven't read his book yet. I've got it in the queue here, but he essentially paid off all of his debt in 9 months. And he starts talking about how that whole process works. He's got a whole blog behind it, which is interesting. So when you sit down and look, hey, when can I retire? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people's problems, there's really two issues I see here, and he highlights this in one of his posts. One is they have no idea how much money they spend in a month.
Right.
That's a problem. So when you ask someone, like when we do the Trinant presentation, when you ask someone, hey, how much money do you need to retire? I think you got to back up even further. How much money do you spend a month?
Right.
Well, I mean, we haven't even talked about retirement yet. You're just, all I know is I spend all of it, and I make $100,000
and a little bit more.
And a little bit more.
Right.
So I need to retire with at least $100,000. Well, what's the problem with that? You never really make enough to retire. And we see these people at our weekend events. We see them at our free events when they're like, well, I don't want to say I'm broke, but they're broke.
Yeah.
They make $200,000, $300,000 a year. They're high income earners, and they spend $200,000 or $300,000 a year. And you're like, well, I'm looking for the magic pill that where I invest, I don't have to put any money in, and I'm making all this money, and I'm going to out-earn my spending habits, and that will never happen.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ask Johnny Depp.
Yes. Yeah, you can always spend more.
You have a spending problem.
Right.
You have got to dial it way back. You know, I get this from some people who say, like, Jason, well, you can buy houses with no money out of pocket. Yeah, but you can buy a whole lot more with $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 out of pocket.
Well, you can do it faster. You can scale it, right? And that you can do 25 this year. If you're trying to do only no money out of pocket deals, you could buy. I mean, I think it'd be tough to buy 5 this year.
If you are very passive with a full-time job.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe 3 if you're very passive full-time job, but if you had $15,000 or $20,000 out of pocket for each one, I think you could buy 20 this year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So the question is, would you rather buy 3 and have no money out of pocket, or would you rather spend some of your retirement, savings and reinvest it? You're not spending it; you're reinvesting it, right? Yeah. I find that one of the conversations that I seem to have with people over and over and over is this distinction between savings versus investments. Like, hey, do you have enough savings for someone's college? Like, do you have the money parked someplace, in order to pay for college, when your kids are, like, your oldest is how old?
10.
10. So he's 10 now. He'll be going to college in 8 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like, some people say that, hey, I don't really have my kids' college paid for until I have, let's say it takes $50,000 a year, 4 years of schooling, takes $200,000. So until I have $200,000 liquid cash sitting in a checking account, then I don't have my first kid's college paid for. Mm-hmm. Versus the way I look at it is like, hey, you don't really need $200,000 sitting in a checking account. What you need is, if it takes $50,000 a year to put your kids through college, that's about, let's say it's 9 months out of the year, you need about $6,000 every month. So why not have 60 rental properties that are earning the income, generating, $100 a month each? That would get you to, even $100 a month of cash flow gets you to your $6,000 a month.
Right.
But it's not liquid cash. So on the other side of the break, I want to talk about savings as liquid cash versus how much of your money do you keep deployed at any one time, especially in something like real estate?
I think we'll start with what's the definition of savings.
Right.
I think that's really important. We get back from the break, we'll talk more about retirement. Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
All right. Hey, Cameron, are you a new daddy yet?
Expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process.
I got this crazy idea and sent it to Chris, our
results.
digital marketing
Our
guy.
company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going
Let's
the
see
extra
how
mile
this
for
works.
you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon.
So did you watch any of the Rockets games while you were down there?
So here's the insane thing.
Yeah.
I could not get the Rockets game, but we could watch the Cavs in Boston. I don't get it.
Was it ESPN versus TNT? Was that the deal?
But you know what? We got TNT, but when the game was on, TNT was literally all commercials. There was no game. It was the strangest thing. So I'm sitting there like refreshing on my phone. We tried to log into Sling, but we got blocked because we're in Mexico. I mean, it was kind of a big disaster. But
interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't do stellar in Game 7. You know, you realize they got within a half, right, of winning, going, and you just think, I mean, Chris Paul would have gotten you 10 points over a half.
You can't shoot that badly, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I didn't watch it, but what I could tell going on was a lot of we're not playing as a team.
Yeah,
we're
of course,
just throwing stuff up.
It's the same thing that happened last year. You got, Harden at the top of the key, dribble, fancy between the legs, blah, 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 blah. Try and step back, miss. Or try and drive. He gets fouled. He complains. They don't call it. He misses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah.
Fund all of your deals. Well,
Yeah, but
you
I'm
can.
just.
Quest
I
IRA
Harden is a
locally here in
good
Houston,
player.
Texas.
He is
At
not a
Quest
leader.
IRA, we
He's not
offer
going to make anybody
retirement
better on that
accounts that
floor.
can be used to invest
He's
in
not.
real estate,
That's the
promissory
problem.
notes,
Yeah, right.
private
It's-
entities, and much more.
He's a great seasoned player. He's
He's
probably one of the best.
seasoned play. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
He's
Deals
not.
all
He's
over the
not the
country.
leader.
We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking.
Yeah, when I
events,
saw it into the
weekly
half, I'm like,
educational
ooh, maybe they
classes,
got their stuff
and free
sorted out. And then it was like,
consultations
oh
with an
no.
IRA
Well, the other thing is, I think honestly that
Visit our website
us playing only 7
at
players,
questira.com.
they wear out by the fourth quarter, and so a lot of it is they're playing such strong defense.
Mm-hmm.
When they're hoisting, you look at Ariza, and it's just like he's covering Kevin Durant, on defense. So when he gets down to the other end, he's firing up his threes. He just doesn't have the legs, and it's
And he went like 0 for 12 or
yeah,
something.
but it's bricking on the front. I mean, he's just missing it by that much. It's just he's just that much more winded.
9992 or reach us on the web.
And I just wonder, I mean,
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling.
if we'd have played 2 or 3 more guys just to add another, take
Just
away
get a breather in
yeah,
there.
just an extra 10 or 15 minutes per guy, right?
Yeah.
The highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects. which
It's
has
a
helped us
classic
to create
example
our
of
3 keys to
a whole lot of
success.
talent on the floor and
Yeah.
just really poor execution.
Yeah.
And
everything gets
for
done.
me, that is
Train
the
and maintain
absolute worst
quality
thing to
crews
watch. I'm
so
like,
it
you
gets
just,
done right.
it's
And
heartbreaking.
complete
It's
the work
not
in
like
proper order so
guys
it
who are
gets
playing
done
their best and
Yeah.
they get bested by another team.
Right.
There was no reason why the performance on Game 7 was bad as it was. It
Right.
just, there's no excuse for it.
Right.
Again, that's 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
All right, gentlemen, hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. We've been talking about retirement and savings versus investments.
So I want to explain what savings is, because a lot of people hear savings, they get real bored. And I got this from a website. I can't remember which one I read this weekend. But it was a great way to describe savings. Savings is profit. It's exactly what it is. In your personal life, if you're running it like a business, savings is profit, period. So if you don't have a lot of savings, that means your personal household is not profitable. If you look at businesses, when you hear these high-powered CFOs and finance guys and gals talk, you will hear them talk about surplus. We have a surplus of cash. That's another way to say savings, i.e. profit. So when you look at when someone says savings, oh, I don't have much in savings. I need more in saving. Just translate that to profit. It's household profit. And those dollars need to be out working. I read another great quote this weekend. Your money, and I kind of tweaked it for the way I'd like to say it. Your money will work harder than you. And it's up to you to determine how that money's going to work, for you or against you. It can work for you as an investment or against you as an expense because you're spending it on stuff that's not investment quality. So savings are absolutely a profit.
Yes.
And your investment activities need to be kicking off cash flow. It's that simple.
Yes.
So what were you going to say? I was just going to say that, and then it was...
No. Well, I mean, here's what I see is I see a lot of people, especially when I sit down and talk with people at the weekend retreat, what they're looking for is to have a large amount of cash sitting in a bank. And I'm like, that's not really my goal is to have, a big amount of... What I want a large amount of assets that are producing income, which for some people, they're like, oh, well, that's not savings. And I'm like, wait, how is that not savings?
Well, that's why I said you need to get rid of the term savings
Right.
and replace it with profit. When you really get into savings, it's the emergency fund.
Yeah, of course, right.
Oh, my world falls apart. Do I have money to pay the bills and all other stuff? Everybody needs to have
Then
one
it becomes, how liquid are your assets to be converted into cash in the event of an emergency, right?
No, they need to be liquid.
Yeah,
if
of
it's
course.
an emergency fund, 100% liquid.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Sitting in a checking account. Now, for juniors college, I looked at his balance a couple of months ago, and I want to say it's somewhere between 20 and 30 grand. So I need to contact Quest, see if I can transfer that over to a Coverdell, because I can't remember which a 4 something or other B retirement saving,
403B or something like that.
No, it's in an education, whatever the education savings account is. I'm going to drop that over to a Coverdell account.
I could Google that
see if
for you.
Yeah, you could.
Let me Google that for you.
And then I plan on going and buying 1, if not 2 houses with it, and that should take care of his college and Carson's college pretty easily. So that's on my to-do list. But to go back to this issue of quote, savings, you've got to have, quote, the emergency fund. And what you consider a good emergency fund is different from person to person. However, I will tell you need to have cash in the bank in order to get these loans to buy these single-family houses. A lot of people say, well, can I buy real estate with no money, no credit? You sure can. But you are going to be at such a disadvantage. And if you're buying properties with a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, the lender, the bank, is going to want to see some reserves. You can't have $0 in your checking account. That does not work. You're going to have some cash somewhere. So you do need some cash. Do you need millions of dollars of cash? No. And the wealthiest folks I know don't carry that kind of cash around anyways. It's crazy.
It won't fit in the pocket.
It will not fit in your pocket. $10,000 stack of $100 bills. You can only fit so many of those in your pocket. So reality is those dollars need to be out working. Yeah, unless you are in Vegas. Unless you need to be...
Because they have $5,000 chips.
They do have those chips.
They even have 10,000, I think.
I'll never forget one time we were headed to Vegas and there was a guy, we were walking through the scanner and he had probably about 50 grand in cash.
Yeah.
And he's holding it above his head as he's going through because he didn't want to put it in his bag.
Right.
He's holding the money up as he's going through the scanner and I'm like, what are you doing, you moron? Like everybody can see you got 50 G's in cash.
Right.
So anyways, so it doesn't need to be liquid, but you need to be out there investing. And it's not, man, the last thing you want is cash. Keep enough in there for your family. Got to keep enough in there to satisfy your reserve requirements. But that cash needs to be out there working in investments. It needs to be building more. The only way to make more money is to send those little dollars out there. I had a friend of mine that said it this best way. He said, investing is sending your dollar bills out there, little dollar bills out, marching out to work. And they're out working and earning a return. And then they bring little friends back to you. That's the whole point here is you want to send that money out so it comes back. This whole idea that you can invest with no money, no credit, I'm going to become a zillionaire, is a flat out lie. It just is because that's not how investing works.
A zillion's a lot.
Yeah. Well, otherwise Warren Buffett would do it, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, let's be honest. If you could do
There's
no
a guy
money,
sitting
no
on a bunch
credit,
of cash.
yeah, no money, no credit investing, why does Warren Buffett have to spend money, have to invest money into deals? Do you think Warren Buffett or Carl Icahn's actually my favorite? But you think Carl Icahn, one of the smartest investors on the planet, Do you think he could figure out how to make money without using any of his own money? He'd be doing it every day. And all he'd be doing is just sitting there collecting checks. Sorry, that's not how it works. Sam Zell's another one of my favorite guys. The most successful real estate investor, I should say, I know personally. I just read about him and see him on TV. Sam Zell. You think he figured out the no money out of pocket deal? He wouldn't be a gazillionaire, but well, he is. But I mean, even a bigger, even higher net worth than he has now? No, because it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't.
Well, what you realize is that those people think differently than the people that are looking for those no money out of pocket deals, right?
Mhm.
And it's the people that are looking for the no money out of pocket deals are there because of what their thinking is. So, and they'll continue to be there until their thinking changes.
Right.
And so, yeah, if the number one thing that I would say that we spend probably, what would you estimate, 35% of the weekend retreat talking about changing your mindset. That that's the number one focus. I know people show up to try and learn the transaction portion of the real estate deal, how to analyze it, how to find it, how to fund it, how to, figure out the repair numbers, all of those kind of things. That's, man, if I just knew that, I'd be really successful. No, you wouldn't. It's a reason why there's a 97% failure rate from people that have gone through other real estate education programs. It's because it's not just what you don't know that's keeping you where you are. It's your thinking that's keeping you where you are. And until that thinking changes, then your results will not change.
I will tell you the biggest problem I see, and I'm really going to hammer it in our June weekend retreat. Why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, what? Why real estate? Why? I'm not going to convince you. You convince me why this is important to you. It's fascinating when you look at, and I think I'm going to start teaching with this, Simon Sinek's Golden Circle framework. And it is the what, how, and why. And the problem is that most people don't know why they're doing something. Well, I just know I can make money at it, so I want to learn how. And you're like, whoa, let's back up. We've got to learn what we're trying to accomplish. It's really what it comes down to. When I talked about earlier, when I said, hey, the number's 25. You need to multiply whatever your expenses are times 25. That's all you're really going to need. If you're assuming, 4% withdrawal rate, 7%, I mean, all these different numbers at the end of the day. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter. We pick real estate because it works well for us, but I'll tell you right now, I also invest in the stock market. So there's good to have a little bit of on both sides of things. However, here is what I'll tell you. At the end of the day, you've got to know your expenses. What are you trying to accomplish? Well, I don't know. I just want to buy some real estate. Okay, why? What are we? If you don't have a goal in mind, what's the point in continuing? And that goal in mind has to have some time bounds on it. I'm trying to accomplish this by this amount of time. Great. Let's look at where you're starting from. How much money do you make? How much do you save? What are your expenses? What's your credit profile look like? Now we can build a plan that you can execute, and you're buying the right type of asset. You're buying the right type of house. The problem is that most people fail to get started because they have no idea what the technical piece of this business. What's it cost to repair this, and how much is the value of the house, and what's it rent for? That is mind-numbingly easy. Anyone can learn it. Super easy. You know what the hardest part of this business is? Knowing who you are, because that will dictate why you're doing the things you're doing and where you want to go. I mean, I meet a lot of people, and you hear this at the weekend retreat too, Tom. Oh, I'm trying to make $50,000 a month in income. Why? And do you even need 50 G's a month? You have $600,000 a month
2 minutes.
or a year. You know what kind of taxes you pay on that? You want that kind of tax burden. I mean, really, let's start walking through this conversation. $50,000. Why? Just because? I mean, all right, well, let's back up. Let's talk about 10. Let's talk about 5. Let's talk about $3,000. Let's talk about $1,000 a month. Let's talk about $1,000 a month passive. We can get to 1,000. I know we can get to 2,000. I know we can get to 4. And then eventually we're making up to that number. I have to pull the stats, but people that make $2 million a year is an extremely small percentage of the population. And as you get to $600,000-$700,000 a year passively, extremely small,
very, very rare,
very, very
Right.
small. So you're talking about exceed. Now, someone always tells me, "Well, that's what I want in 5 years." And if I do the Tony Robbins positive thinking, rah 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 stuff, I'll get there. And I'm like, "No, you won't.
No,
statistically, you will not make it." So let's back into why are we doing something. Then let's go to the how, and then let's go to the what we need to do in order to make that happen. We'll talk about more about that at the end of the beginning of the next break.
What a lot of people don't realize is that it's the equivalent over the next 5 years of earning because if at 10%, right, $600,000 a year, $50,000 a month is $6 million invested at 10%, right?
Yep.
So you need to create, in profit. $6 million over the next 5 years in order to get to your $50,000 a month.
Right.
So good luck with that.
Well, it's easy because a multifamily guru told me you just do this and this
right.
and refinance, and then you just go to
7 deals a month.
7 deals a month. Good luck with that.
Right. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. See you on the other side of the break.
Mike's off.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly.
We didn't even get to this. I think this will be my Friday show right here.
What's that?
The See, I Told You So. Landlord Nation and the new supply side of housing.
Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas.
Oh.
Valued at over $250 million.
This was interesting.
Jet
I'll
Lending
share
will
with
help you
you.
evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of
Or our
great real
soon-to-be
estate
famous
talk. We'll see you
First Wednesday Super Investor Meeting in Dallas.
Based off the RSVP text I got yesterday,
Yeah.
that thing's going to be huge this
Yes.
month.
Mhm.
Probably
Huge.
don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk.
Blackstone lands 6 property apartment portfolio and $422 million deal.
Wow, that's like $80 million a unit or something? $80 million
Well, I was
a
just gonna-
complex?
so let's see.
How many
400
doors?
It says 2,199, 422
or check us out online
million
at
divided by
Next Gen
219.
It's got to be Class A.
Oh my God, $191,000 a door.
Nuts.
That's crazy.
Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree, single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906
Yeah, there was some news that I saw on-
or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30
Apartment rent concessions are back with a vengeance. Short-term headache or sign of real trouble. Most investors have slower leasing priced into their financing. Some see apartments as a hedge for the next recession.
online at benchmarkbroker.com.
The age-old developers trade-off.
Benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353 or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Do you have cracks in your
1
brick,
minute.
doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a
Yeah, it
question
says
if you move it.
some of the popular rental markets are confronting that choice more and more often than not, they're offering concessions.
Evaluation. Foundation check.
New residents get a month or two of free rent or perhaps free parking. Existing tenants who renew their leases could see a little benefit too, a free month, an apartment upgrade, or no rent
Or
increase.
selling you unnecessary peer work. But we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair.
We walked out of the airport last night at like 9, and I'm like, this is miserable.
Yeah.
It was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And like 110%.
And you were
humidity.
closer to the equator.
Yeah.
FoundationCheck.com.
That was awesome.
Business 1110.
The sun is pretty intense, though. I will tell you that.
You must have used a
All
lot
right,
of sunblock.
fellas.
Oh, yeah.
We ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Hot mics.
I don't know what that was in the back, but
I think
hey,
she's listening to the show on Facebook.
Yeah,
in
hey,
the
welcome
background.
back, Right Path Real Estate Radio. So let's talk about upcoming events because this is our last segment. We've got 4 minutes before we're done for the day, and then I'll be back tomorrow for Build Your Team Thursday.
So we got our client case study coming up. When is that? Not this Thursday or next Thursday? It's the following
It's
Thursday.
the Thursday. Yeah, I'll go quickly to the Right Path Real Estate page.
To the Google's page.
I'll Google the Right Path Real Estates.
Yeah, so here's the deal, guys.
I like the new layout of the website.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
I haven't tinkered with it yet.
Yeah.
Upcoming events.
Yeah. So, hey, I want to mention that the property bus tour, which is this Saturday, is already sold out.
Oh,
yeah. So
that
if
was
you
quick.
waited, if you snoozed, you losed. Yeah. So Pathway to Income and Wealth and Real Estate Workshop is Saturday, June 16th, which means that 2 days earlier would be June 14th to be our Thursday event, right? Yep.
So you can go to our Thursday night event, and you can hear all the great accolades of being a member of Right Path Real Estate. Our membership is a whopping $9.97.
Yes.
You can go to the weekend retreat as many times you like. We're also going to
That's
live
new.
stream it. Yeah, all new. This is the all new weekend retreat.
Yeah.
Weekend workshop. It's Saturday, Sunday, and $9.97. You go to our website.
Not a Friday anymore, and you don't want to wait till the day of the weekend retreat to sign up because
it will fill up.
Well, not only that, so it's still really a 3-day event when you stop and think about it, because our expectation is that you're going to have, in the privacy and convenience of your own home, watched the videos of the things that we taught on day one, which is like investor math and the vocabulary and insurance and some of those things that took up all of Friday, really, or a majority of Friday. We're expecting you to have already viewed and learned that information because we're going to be building on that Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's the basics like how do I do evaluation? How do I
Yeah.
figure out
2
how much it
minutes.
cash flows a month? How do
Right.
I do the numbers behind a flip? What are the definitions? My old boss used to say, hey, man, if you know the definitions, you're 50% a professional in that field. So
when I first became when I was studying to become a real estate agent, I did 2 things. One is I studied the courses online, but more importantly, when my review came up, all I did is checked out a book from the library. It was a real estate exam prep course, and all I did is read the vocabulary words in the back.
perfect.
That was it. Just read the vocabulary.
way to do it.
Yep.
So in any case, it's coming up June 14th. Go to Right Path Real Estate. You can sign up there. You're probably going to get a bevy of emails that occur before the class. You can meet some of our successful students there. If you're out at any of our events, you see somebody with a silver badge on, that's one of the folks that are in our club. Introduce
Yeah, some
yourself.
people
ask
think
them how it is.
those folks are employees. I had somebody tell us, "Oh, I thought all those people worked for you." I'm like, no. Those
Got like 2 people in our
walk up.
office.
Those are our successful students. Yeah, we give our most successful students those kind of badges, so they get badges just like Jason and I.
That's right.
Because they're part of the family.
That's right. Although I'm the worst at remembering to wear mine. So let's go to rightpathrealestate.com. Sign up there, rightpathrealestate.com. We'll see you guys in the next event. Tom will be here Thursday. And then I'm going to talk about the supply side of single-family houses and why one of the biggest mistakes you are making is not buying enough single-family real estate. We'll talk about that on Friday. I've got the rest of the world's catching up to what we've been preaching for the last 2 years. I'm going to explain that in a couple of articles on Friday. Thanks for listening, guys. Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.